video, very short live stream. So I barely found this out, like I said, like a week ago. So we no longer have a Rite Aid. So first thing my wife noticed where we live, in the city we live in, um, there was no Rite Aid. So that's the first thing that she noticed. I mean, we parked there in the front because we were getting ourselves some dinner. So one of the places we eat at was close to a Rite Aid. We parked in front of it, and I told her, you know what? They probably close early because like it's mainly pharmacy and stuff like that. Um, so I told her like, yeah, they're probably just closed because most businesses, especially when it's not that much business, they close kind of early. So then we go back a few days later to go eat at the same place and realize that it was closed during the daytime, and we're like, oh wow, Rite Aid is closed. That's crazy. So now take a little journey here. So I come to my hometown where I used to live, which is like about 15 minutes away, and the Rite Aid here is closed too. This is the actual Rite Aid right here, and I'm looking at like, and I saw this about a week ago, and I said, you know what, this one's closed also. So what's the probability of both being closed? Um, I thought it was just going to be one location. Maybe they were where they were moving or something, but no, they're both closed. And I'm assuming the third Rite Aid that's in our Imperial Valley is probably closed too. So I guess that's a shame, because and I could be wrong here. Maybe the citizens of the Imperial Valley can help me out. Actually, I should probably have tagged them. I wonder if I can still tag them. Oh, 1 second, guys. No, probably not. Anyways, let me see. So I'm guessing the righties are. I looked it up, and the righties went through a bankruptcy. So that's pretty sad. I mean, now I remember, I don't know, probably about years ago. I would say, let's see, I'm 40 years old now, so I'm probably gonna say maybe about 30 years ago. Rite Aid used to be Thrifty, and Thrifty was where we used to go get our ice cream, get our pharmacy items. We would get like, well, a bunch of stuff. I mean, Thrifty was really cool. We would go there and hang out. So then later on it became Rite Aid. I did notice though that this past year I would try to get those Rite Aid points, and they just wouldn't go through. And I would ask the cashiers, "Hey, how can I get my points?" And they're like, we don't know. I mean, go on the app and cash in your points." And I could never use them. So I looked it up right now in Safari, and it said that they were no longer accepting Rite Aid points. They were not accepting gift cards, nothing like that. So I guess because they knew they were going through their bankruptcy. So I guess it's pretty sad because this is gonna be part of our history now because I know the older crowd will remember Rite Aid as Thrifties, and you can still find that Thrifty ice cream, which is very good. I think that's one thing they're known for as well. I would see a lot of people come just to get ice cream, but other than that, I mean, the thing about like Rite Aid, CVS, um, Walgreens is that when they have like items that they usually see like at Walmart, they're pretty pricey. A lot of them tell you that the ingredients or quality is a lot better, but it's just the same thing, A shampoo from Rite Aid, a shampoo from Walmart, the same thing. It's just that it's more expensive at the pharmacy places. So but I guess I could see. I know that CVS is more thriving as a pharmacy than all the other ones. Obviously, you got Walmart that they're and Target. They have their own. They got their own pharmacy as well. So they're not gonna do. They're gonna do pretty good. But yeah, it's kind of sad to see Rite Aid go. So it's basically just that. I was just curious. Now I'm not sure if Rite Aid is bankrupt all over, but at least here, yeah, we don't have it no more. So just kind of driving through it. It's crazy though. I mean, I drive around to work, and I tend to notice businesses around me, and if they close it affects my stores. You know, let's just say for example, this Rite is close to one of my stores. If it closes down, like we're gonna know because that's customers we're not gonna get back because a lot of them if they go to a Rite Aid, they go to a pharmacy, they're gonna want to pick something up. They're gonna want to go and visit our store too. My stores are my location, so it affects everybody. It's just pretty crazy though. It's I guess maybe that's one thing with me. I find it kind of sad seeing businesses close down that have been with us for a long time. They've uh they've lasted the test of time, but oh well, you know things are getting more expensive. A lot of our the stuff we buy is going to be more online now. I mean, everything's just becoming very, very convenient. I should probably drive around the bad parts of Calexico. Not the bad meaning like dangerous. I'm talking about like the areas that like no longer have businesses. We do have a section like that. Pardon the sun, everybody. Um, but yeah, so it's pretty crazy. So now we're in Mexico. The street that we passed to my right, to my left, takes you to the border. So some businesses on that side actually started flourishing a bit because now you have a new crowd of people passing through. There's actually some outlets over there. I haven't been to those outlets in years, um, but mainly because when we go to the outlets, we go out of town, San Diego or Escondido. Um, they're Carlsbad. They have some pretty good malls over there. So I normally don't go to the ones here. And me myself personally, I don't buy stuff from malls that much. Like if I do, it's gonna be food. I'm gonna go for like boba or like steam buns. But yeah, I'm not much of a. I don't really care to waste my money on stuff I don't really need. I guess the best way to put it whenever I spend money, it's would I buy this if I was blind? You know, I tell myself that if I was blind, would I still buy this? You know, it's a weird way to look at it, but it's just how it is sometimes. Gotta play chicken with this car right here. Haha, I won. There we go. So yeah, it's kind of a bummer seeing some businesses just go out of business. Because a lot of them carry memories. A lot of times when we see a business go down, and if you frequented that business, or at least when you were younger, you'll remember it. Like I remember here in Calexico, we used to have convenience stores before Walmart was even a thing. We had Super Shopping. One in Spanish was called Pronto. We had Cooks. That's actually funny. We had two shopping centers in the same block, and it was Super Shopping and Cooks, right behind each other, and they both did very well. There was another one called FedMart, and that was old, ancient. Um, what else? Now you don't even see the 99 cent stores anymore. And to what I hear, they might even be closing down the those Family Dollars as well. So I mean, you can't beat the big corporations sometimes. You'll still get the feel of a local grocery store, but the big corporation ones, I mean, they have everything. I mean, what are you gonna do? And then you have other big corporations coming in, so I mean, you have Target, you have Walmart, um, and then eventually I mean, you have Costco, which Costco's a bit more. I guess they're more of the good guy. I don't know. I don't really keep up with that. I mean, they all make money, so. But I mean, we're just people, and we got to get our stuff somewhere. Walmart's got good prices, not the best customer service, I'll tell you that. Not bashing on a specific Walmart. It's more like it just doesn't seem like they're focused. So if you have somebody who's a great customer service specialist, you're gonna get great service at Walmart, but not because Walmart trained them to be great. Actually, I've had Walmart. Walmart has a lot of my old employees that we've trained in customer service. So when they're over there you could tell like, oh, these guys must have worked, you know, in the type of business that I work in. Because I've gotten pretty subpar service when I go to Walmart. I get better service at Target, um, and I get decent service at Costco. I could say I get the best at Target. You know, um, Walmart is just kind of like a gamble. You're It just depends on the employee. If the employee is good, they're gonna show how good they are. If the employee is not good, you're gonna see how good they are not. What else? That was just that. I was just ranting about our lost RiteAid, which I remember as thrifty. So that's how old I am. It's funny. I don't feel 40 years old. I still feel like I'm like one of the young guys out here. Just kind of like still taking in all the new stuff. But then I see all the younger guys, and I'm like, they probably think I'm the old guy. I get called sir a lot. Mister. Um, it's crazy though, because I still see the old businesses here in my hometown, and I'm like, yeah, yeah, I remember when. That's those are the words that come out of my mouth. I remember when I used to work at Carol's, which I think no longer exists either. The Carol's restaurant that is also like Carol's or Coco's, full service restaurant. Kind of like a Denny's. When I used to work at Carol's, I used to sit with the older gentlemen, the ones that are like 60 years old and plus, and chit chat, and they would tell me all about like stuff about the Imperial Valley and things like that. And I was like, wow, it's pretty good. They're like walking museums. Those the old guys that sit in the counter, they'll tell you everything about our hometown. So now I'm starting to identify a lot of stuff in my hometown. I'm thinking like, yeah, I remember when that was there. I remember why it's not there anymore. I remember when they first built this, when they first built that. I remember when Walmart had, those small letters and they had an arcade in them. Walmart's had like the food court, that had like no like the generic food. I remember that. I remember Kmart. Kmart was like a big deal back then. So I don't know if I ran a business, I probably would not run those type of businesses. Because you gotta compete against a big industry like that. Probably just get something that I know everybody needs and just focus on that. But yeah, that's pretty crazy. Anyways, just ranting to you guys. Starting to realize my own age in these little chats. But that's pretty much all I got. So I'll see you guys later. Maybe tonight, maybe tomorrow. Have a great day.